Hey beautiful people, and welcome once again to my channel. Today we are going to be making this very delicious pork recipe. This is called Rôtie de Porc in Cameroon. Let's cook. For our ingredients, we have some pork. This is the star ingredient of this dish, like the main component. And for our spices, we have here some thyme, white pepper, Aniseed, Pebbe, and Ngangsang. And over here we have some ginger and garlic. These leaves are called Fille de Ginger or Fille de Ginger. And here we have some fresh tomatoes, some scotch bonnet pepper, green pepper, onions, and right here we have some celery, basil, and some spring onions. Right here some salt and cooking oil, and for our complement we have some ripe plantains. To cook, I'm going to start by chopping 1 onion. Then into a heated pot, I'm going to be adding in the cooking oil, and I'm going to go ahead and saute the onions I chopped earlier. We are going to let this fry for about 2 minutes. Then we are going to go ahead and add in our pork into the pot. After adding in our pork into the pot, I'm going to stir this up nicely, and I'm going to let this cook. Into the pot, do not add in any water at this point. Let the pork cook on its own. Pork tends to release a lot of water while it's cooking, so let that cook on its own. I'm going to be adding in our fille de ginger. These leaves give a very beautiful flavor to your pork, so I'm just going to let these leaves cook with the pork for about 10 minutes. Then we'll be back. While our pork is on the fire cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prep the other ingredients. I had to chop all our vegetables, and here we have them. This is what the pork looks like after cooking for about 10 minutes. Now into the pot, I'm going to be adding in the chopped tomatoes. I'm going to stir this up and let this cook. I still will not add water at this point because the tomatoes has water in it and it's going to release water while it's cooking. So here I'm just going to stir this up and let this cook on its own. Then I'm going to go and prep the rest of the ingredients. Using the traditional grinding stone, I'm going to be grinding all the rest of the other ingredients. I'm just going to grind this nicely, and I'm going to be adding this into the pot. Now into our pot, I'm going to be adding in the ground spices. I'm going to stir this up nicely, and I'm going to be adding in a little bit of water into this to loosen it up. If your pork has released more water, you can just cook it with the water from the pork, but since mine has dried up already, I'm going to be adding in a little bit of water, and I'm going to let this cook. Before adding in the water, I went ahead to add in some salt and seasoning cubes. Guys, please be watchful with the quantity of salt you add to this. You don't want it too salty. So I'm going to add in the water, and I'm going to let this cook for about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to come back and add in the other ingredients. Here I'm going to be adding in the ground celery and basil. I use my grinding stone as well to grind this. So I'm just going to stir this and let this cook for another 3 minutes. Then I'm going to come back again to add in the remaining ingredients. Here I went ahead to add in a little bit more water because I wanted the spices to cook properly. So I'm just going to add this, and I'll cover the pot and let it cook. Now into our pot, I'm going to be adding in the final ingredients. Here are some spring onions. I'm going to be adding in some chopped onions, green bell pepper, and some scotch bonnet peppers. We are just going to stir this up nicely and let this cook for another 3 to 5 minutes more, and our rôtie de porc will be ready to be served. Our rôtie de porc is now ready to be served. The aroma in my kitchen is divine. This tastes so delicious. You have to try this recipe. I'm going to be serving this with some boiled plantains. You could serve this with some boiled rice or yams. Thank you guys so much for watching this video to this point. If you did like this recipe, please tell me in the comments what you think about this recipe. Will you be trying it? All the ingredients to this recipe are listed down in the description box. Please leave a comment, subscribe to our channel. Bye.